Hello, everyone. I am Queen Lily, and we have 17 days left before what? Election Day, November the 5th. Yes, 17 days. That's all we got left, y'all. We don't have many more days left before we have to choose between VP Kamala Harris and who? Donald J. Trump. And as you know, I have already voted. I voted Tuesday. Yes, I went and voted Tuesday because I found it imperative to get my vote in early. And I have been trying to advise you all as well because on November the 5th, the lines just may be long. But don't get discouraged. If they are long, just go ahead and stay in that line and get your vote in. It doesn't matter who your candidate is, okay? Get your vote in. So we're going to be discussing VP Kamala Harris, how she's climbing up in the polls, how she has built her foundation, and she just keep laying those bricks every day. And all the way up to November 5th, she's going to be laying those bricks. Even on November the 5th, she is securing her foundation because her home is where? In that White House. She's already the vice president. She's going to be what? Our president, November the 5th. Thank you for coming to my live. I am Queen Lily, and y'all already know it's election time, honey. We have what, 17 days? Yes, 17 days before November 5th, election day. And we got to get out there and get our vote ins. Again, I voted early. I believe in early voting. That's my thing, early voting. Get your vote in, get your vote in. It matters. Your vote counts. Yes. So we're gonna be discussing Donald Trump, how he's trying to avoid interviews, claiming exhaustion, why he's not doing interviews and less rallies, why VP Kamala Harris, she is out there doing those rallies. She's gonna be here in my hometown, yes, Atlanta, Georgia, this weekend. Ha! And you know what? I don't know which day I'm going to go see her, but I am going to go see my first female president, VP Kamala Harris. I am, yes, me. I'm going to see VP Kamala Harris. Ooh, but I don't know which day because she's going to be here all weekend. And I'm going to try to volunteer one day next week to help with the rallies and everything. So that's my goal. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Well, I'm sorry it's late where you are, but here in America, in Atlanta, Georgia, it is only 4:06. Sorry. Thank y'all for coming to my live. All of you beautiful kings and queens. I thank you. I thank you. Thank you. Today, our discussion is about the election. Things are happening so fast. Time is just going fast. We have 17 days, you guys. 17 days left before November 5th. And again, I voted early because I don't want to be stuck in long lines. No, no, it's going to cause wrinkles. And I don't want to be stuck in long lines. Hit that like button, you guys. I have super chat. So if you want to support me and like my commentary, send me a super chat. Get a membership. There's two different types of memberships, the Ruby's membership and the Diamonds membership. Ruby's membership of $4.99. Diamonds membership is $9.99. Yes. So we're going to get this party started right now. Okay. I have voted already, you guys, and I'm encouraging you all, if you can, go vote early. I encourage you to vote early. It's important to vote early. Your vote counts. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Your vote counts. Trust me, your vote counts. So how y'all doing today? So Purpose Stranger said Kamala. Yeah, I voted for Kamala Harris. Yes, God, I voted for her. And you can vote for whoever you like. It doesn't matter. Long as you vote. Why? Because your vote counts. Kelly says her eyebrows fleek. Thank you. Kelly says, yes, thank you, Queen Kelly. I bow down to you. Thank you so much. Adolph said, I see an inset on the left side of your jaw. There's no inset. That is a beauty mark. I got that from my mother. Kelly Raleigh says, girl, who you vote for? Because if it ain't Cam, I can't be subscribing. Subscribe to me, Queen Kelly. I voted for VP Kamala Harris. She has already won. She has already risen. She is already in the White House. and she gonna continue being in the White House. That's why I said she is laying those bricks every day, building her foundation. She is up against Donald Trump and the mega maggots. So she got to keep stacking those bricks, building that foundation, because where her house is, in the White House. Okay. Big boy Buzz said, vote Trump 2024. That's your candidate, and you have every right to vote for Donald Trump. Hit that like button. Come on, y'all. Hit the like button for me. Thank you. One moment, I'm gonna go turn my air conditioner on. I forgot to turn it on. It's only 60 degrees here, but hey, these lights get me hot. One moment, okay? I'm back. Sorry about that. These lights get me really hot, but it's only 60 degrees here. It's chilly here. Come on, air conditioner, because it's hot. I can't take the heat. As I stated, we have 17 days until election. I'm going to show you guys a couple of videos. I'm going to here and there break and tell y'all what I think about what's been said. I'm going to do my own commentary to the videos. I hope you don't mind. So VP Kamala Harris, she is rising in the polls. In some states, she's tied with Donald Trump, and it may be one or two that he may be ahead of her. But the early voting shows that VP Kamala Harris is in the lead when it comes to the early voting. Most of the votes are going to VP Kamala Harris. I am one of those people that voted for VP Kamala Harris early voting. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, 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 yes. Mm-hmm. And I got to remember to show y'all a map, an old map of this country, because y'all always complaining about the migrants, the immigrants, and all that. But a lot of the states in the United States they originally belonged to Mexico. Remember, you Europeans came over here and stole the whole land. A lot of these states originally belonged to Mexico. I got to show y'all that map. So when y'all saying immigrants and Mexicans, Donald Trump keeps saying, oh, well, because some of the states belong to them. Everything has been stolen. Okay. So anyway, we're going to look at this video. And this one is about Donald Trump. Give it a moment. It's going to load. But we have to always remember kindness goes a long way. And whether y'all look at them as immigrants or not, Donald Trump's wife is an immigrant. Be kind and think about your choice wife is an immigrant.
Finally got to see Donald Trump's Al Smith dinner that he's been hyping up for the past week, that he's been incredibly dramatic about on Truth Social, and it was a disaster. It was the usual mess where he was slurring his way through. He was making jokes, but he was making jokes meant for his MAGA cult to a non-MAGA cult crowd. So the laughs were very muted, if they existed at all. And when I say jokes, I mean he says something in a raspy voice while leaning over the podium, hoping that people laugh. You know, with 19 days to go, we have no time to waste.
I like this fella, but I'm going to speed it up to a certain mark that's more important at this moment. Hold on. Just a moment. Just a moment, okay? 17 more. One moment, you guys. I'm moving it faster because we have a lot to cover. And if I don't find it important that he's discussing, I'm going to move it right along, okay?
You have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said.
So Kamala is making a great point here, and the thing is, I explained this in my video yesterday, women candidates across the globe, but especially in the United States, are always walking a tightrope, where if you are a little bit too firm or commanding, people will say that you were too harsh, but if you're not firm or commanding, you will get walked all over, so you have to walk a tightrope, and VP Harris was doing that perfectly here, but of course, MAGA people came out and said that when she got stern right here and said that Donald Trump, what he does is unacceptable, which is true. She acted presidential. Presidents need to be stern, and she's running for president. MAGA on Twitter said that was an example of her losing it, of her being deranged, because she raised her voice 0.2 decibels. Come on. But here's Brett Baer admitting that he made a mistake. And I want to know what you guys make of this before I give my opinion. Do you guys think that Bret Baier is lying here to cover his ass, or did they genuinely air the wrong clip?
Hi, Queen Tia. Thank you.
I want to say that mistake. When I called for a soundbite, I was expecting a piece of the enemy from within, from Maria Bartiromo's interview, to be tied to the piece from your town hall, Harris, where you asked the former president about the enemy from within. It just had the piece about the town hall. Just take a listen to what I meant to roll.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
My point was that we asked him the question about that sentence.
Okay, so Bret Baier admits that he made a mistake. Here's what I think is happening. We know for a fact this was one of Fox News' largest viewed events of the year, maybe their largest viewed event. It had 7.1 million views, which beat Kamala's interview with Dana Bash, which beat all of Trump's recent interviews. It was Kamala's most viewed interview of this election cycle. My point is, I think someone in the back room, and this is me just speculating, kind of pulled the plug on this moment and said, you can't play this full Trump clip to 7.1 million Fox News viewers. They said, if you play Trump talking about the National Guard to 7.1 million of our viewers, we will get nuked off air. I mean, Trump will pull our licensing if he wins the presidency, and it'll ruin our reputation with MAGA, essentially. So I don't know. Maybe I'm giving Bret Baier too much charitability, but I feel like Bret Baier genuinely was a little bit annoyed that they played the wrong clip. He kind of looks into the camera there for a second, and he seems like he's a little mistake during his interview.
He's giving Bret Baier too much credit. You know why? Because a lie don't care who tells it. That's an old saying that the old folks like to say. A lie don't care who tells it. Bret knew what he was doing yesterday. He's a Trump supporter. Fox News is all about Trump. So he knew what he was doing. And a lie don't care who tell it. Okay? One moment, y'all.
Prior to Contrave.
Hold on, there's a commercial. I'm sorry. I didn't know a commercial was coming up. So I'm gonna read some of y'all comments, okay? Tia said, if you commit crimes, you would be prosecuted. Commit crimes, that's true.
Walks on stage and completely says whatever he
If you
wants.
commit
It has to be
crimes.
frustrating. Here is Donald Trump using his Barack Hussein Obama line in New York City. This
And
is
it
Jim
laid
Gaffigan.
flat, so flat.
That quote, only a few people got that. Or as Rush Limbaugh used to say, Barack Hussein Obama. Remember, Barack? He was a piece of work. We miss him.
He loved criminals.
Dude, most people in the back are like, what is this guy on about? What is he yapping about? And I think the worst part is when one person in the back laughs, it's actually kind of funny, and Trump was like, oh, he got the joke. Everybody gets the joke. Everybody gets it. No, it's not flying over anybody's head, man.
Only a few people got that.
He said only a few people got that. No, everybody got it. Look at Chuck Schumer's face as all of this
I
unfolds.
love
You can
Chuck
see him
Schumer.
at the bottom right.
Joe told Barack Hussein Obama, that quote, only a few people got that. Or as Rush Limbaugh used to say, Barack Hussein Obama. Remember, Barack? He was a piece of work. We miss him.
Chuck like this idiot.
But he's
You can see Chuck Schumer shaking his head. Here's Trump receiving some booze.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Who is that lady? Trump kissed some lady on the lip. Oh my God. That's not Melania. He kissed that lady on the lip. OMG.
So you guys can totally hear the booze.
That's not Melania that he kissed. Look, he kissed this lady on her lips. What in the Jimmy crack corn and I don't care?
Because you said Barack Hussein Obama and then repeated the joke and then cited Rush Limbaugh. And as Aaron Rupar points out, the dynamic is really weird because Trump is basically just doing his rally speech at the Ousmane dinner, but the audience is laughing like it's supposed to be some weird comedy. Are they laughing at him? Are they laughing with him?
They're laughing at Trump.
Our president are supposed to exchange good-natured barbs, and you know we get along very well. I didn't like Biden very much, and now I like him quite a bit. You know, and now I say that she's much worse than him. He was a much better candidate than her, actually. And when we hopefully win, dispose of her, I like her a lot, but right now I guess.
I'm going to comment on this because he keep downplaying VP Kamala Harris' intelligence. Apparently, she's very intelligent because she raised over $1 million in such a short time. Donald Trump, you've been campaigning a lot longer than she has. And she raised over $1 million. That tells me a lot. This lady is very intelligent. And how I know she's intelligent, she has a law degree. She was a prosecutor. And the list goes on and on and on about VP Kamala Harris. You don't get that from getting on your knees like y'all keep wanting to say she did. Ain't no way in the HEWL she did. She has a qualification in the education, which Donald Trump don't have. He don't have it. All he have is that money from his dad, and he spent most of that. He blew most of it in bad investments. He filed bankruptcy 6 times, y'all. And now he's trying to do what? Pay Stormy Daniels again. That's what Donald Trump, that's why he's in trouble, and he has to go to trial for his sentencing November 26th because the same thing he's trying to do again with Stormy Daniels. MAGA, get him together, please. That's your candidate. He has to do better. He's not great representation for the Republicans. Mike Pence was great representation for the Republicans. J.D. Vance is not great representation for the Republicans. Not at all. So this next video we're going to watch, it is Donald Trump as well. Very little of our girl, VP Kamala Harris. So we're going to let it load up. I'm going to take me a sip of water, you all. I am thirsty. Just not as thirsty as Donald Trump because he's thirsty for votes. He is thirsty for votes, y'all.
Stacey Abrams here.
One moment, it's a commercial with Stacey Abrams. When it goes off, I'm going to play the video. Okay.
Mr. Trump, any Trump company, any family member, or any family member company, or any asset, any of the foregoing own, or product, or service, any of the foregoing offer, in each case by or in any of the restricted means and contexts, and to prevent your employees from doing so. So this literally is like a catch-all for anything related to Donald Trump, his family members, the entities, multiple businesses that he's affiliated with. You can't criticize any of these things for life. And here's another thing I want to read to you. This is the definition of confidential information. Truly insane. Confidential information means, quote, all information, whether or not embodied in any media of a private, proprietary, or confidential nature, or that Mr. Trump insists remain private or confidential, including but not limited to any information with respect to the personal life, political affairs, and or business affairs of Mr. Trump or any family member, including but not limited to, and then it goes on and on to list all the possible affiliations of anything having to do with Donald Trump. That line right there, folks, anything that Mr. Trump insists remain private or confidential, totally arbitrary and insane. It is one of the bases on which we had this NDA declared unlawful under New York law. The judge in our case, Judge Paul Gardeffi, mentioned how Donald Trump used these NDAs in bad faith, repeatedly used these NDAs in bad faith, not to protect legitimate business interests. There are places for NDAs that are legitimate. This is a man who is obsessed
Thank you, Queen
with
Tia.
silencing his critics. And I really hope you understand this in the context of somebody like J.D. Vance, who, when he is asked a question about whether Donald Trump lost or did not lose the 2020 election, his deflecting non-answer is that the greatest threat to democracy is censorship, and that Kamala Harris is censoring people because we were trying to mitigate misinformation during a international health crisis. These are the people. Donald Trump is the man who has been silencing his critics from day one for decades in business. He has been silencing people who try to come after him. He has been silencing the people who are married to him. He is
Thank you,
obsessed with
AC.
NDAs. And I think what you're seeing in particular with this attempt with Stormy Daniels, it is the result of impunity. He has not yet been sentenced for this crime that he committed relating to Stormy Daniels in 2016. And the effects of not having accountability yet have emboldened his flagrants to commit what are apparent election interference crimes all over again. It is so incredibly vital that this man sees accountability. The deterrence, the deterrent effect of accountability is what this whole country needs. It is what we absolutely have to achieve in this election to make sure that a man like this, who has authoritarian aims to silence his critics, cannot get away with this. I most certainly press forward in the courts to make sure that this was a finished matter with the Trump campaign NDA. I want to continue with one more clip from Rachel. She quotes the Trump campaign response from an individual who I also happen to know, unfortunately, and I'm going to tell you more about him on the other side.
Stormy's attorney tells us they finally settled on $627,500, which is what Stormy paid, and she never signed anything. Now, I will tell you, we sent questions about all of this to Trump's Florida attorney who was handling these negotiations. He did not reply. He forwarded our email to the Trump campaign. They gave us a response instead. Their response was quite unexpected. They told us, oh, these documents are part of the Iranian hacking. Quote, these purported documents were attained as part of an illegal foreign hacking attack against President Trump and his team. We are working with authorities to determine the legal repercussions for those likely committing federal offenses by posting and utilizing stolen material by terror regime adversaries. Ms. Daniels has been held to account by having to pay President Trump over and above the money she owes to him as a result of her wrongdoings. Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt.
Trump will say anything to cover up what he's doing now to try to stop Stormy Daniels. He is trying to break bread with her again. That's why he's going to court November 26th, y'all. He's pulling the same stunts that just don't make sense. I don't know if it's because his mental health is declining. He's an old man. He's soon to be 80 in a couple years. He's doing the same stupid thing. How can you repeat the same stupid thing again? And you're in trouble and you are being sentenced November 26th. It doesn't make sense. It just don't.
Personal loans may qualify for help
One
from
moment,
national
y'all.
debt relief. Minimum payments could literally... Now, parts of that statement are factually and sort of legally inexplicable, but that is what they told us. We went back to them again saying thanks, but asking them about the hush money demand specifically, they just reiterated that statement. As I said, we got these communications straight from Stormy Daniels' lawyer. After speaking to Stormy Daniels herself, there was no hacking involved. We did not get them from any hack or from the leaking of any hacked documents.
The fact that Stephen Chung is the spokesperson for the Trump campaign tells you everything you ever need to know about Donald Trump. This is a man who I knew in 2016. He was a comm staffer. And at the height of the terror that I endured on this campaign when I delusionally joined it and thought that these people actually cared about the welfare of our country or freedom or human rights or anything real and good, was a slander campaign that involved allegations that I was responsible for a 2016 leak of Trump's tax returns, completely false and made up. Allegations that I was rifling through the desks of senior staffers. One night when I was literally running an errand for Stephen Miller and dropped off a binder that I picked up from a FedEx office in his office, turned into a rumor mill that I was rifling through the desks of Stephen's senior staffers, and that I was shopping bids to sell my story for millions of dollars to the media. Well, along with the man who hired me and was very, very jealous and insanely out of control over the fact that I got promoted out from under his control, this man and Stephen Chung were involved in that rumor that I was trying to sell bids to the media. Completely false. That night, I was banned from Trump Tower. I was reported to Secret Service. My picture was sent to them. I was basically treated myself like a terrorist on the Trump campaign. And there you have that statement about Stormy Daniels. It's reads very much like a threat to me. Trying to implicate her or Rachel Maddow or whatever in hacking, trying to somehow suggest that they were involved in nefarious behavior because the nefarious behavior of Donald Trump and his campaign is being exposed. The gaslighting is so stark. It's so dangerous. I want to end and leave you with one thought here. In this particular case, Stormy Daniels has been a truth teller. She has been an obvious critic of Donald Trump. She is someone who I don't think anybody would have thought is somebody who was a supporter of him, although I think she really came into this as someone who was not involved in politics and just got thrown into this by the nature of what she experienced. But in my case, and in the case of so many Trump supporters, with the most extreme example being those who were sent to their death on January 6th, this equation will turn on you. Donald Trump's persecution of his critics may seem to be just against his enemies, but the news for anybody supporting Donald Trump or anybody thinking that on any issue whatsoever, your life is going to be better under Donald Trump, let me tell you, you are dead wrong. There will come a time in your life when you will learn that being a Trump supporter does not protect you from his worst retribution. There will be a time when something that is precious and vital to your life comes in conflict with his interests. And when that happens, he will do anything to silence you, to bankrupt you, as he attempted in my case, to make you disappear, possibly to have you locked up. He has an army of supporters in Project 2025 who are prepared to help him enact a administration of retribution and weaponized justice. So
that's true.
Please be aware of the stakes.
There are people that is a part of him that will weaponize justice. Him himself, he has stated that what he would do to Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, VP Kamala Harris, he has bad intentions for people. And I believe he's going to do, if he's allowed back in there, he would definitely do what he said he's going to do. But he will not win. I know. So now we're going to watch a video where they're bad mouthing VP Kamala Harris, saying middle class. This is Donald Trump saying middle class people like they are nothing. So we're going to watch that. One moment, okay? Just a moment. Just a moment. One moment, you guys. I gotta let the commercial go off.
This was just a very bizarre.
Hold on.
Trump then complains.
I have a certain mark I want to start watching it because we only have so much time and we're not going to watch this whole video. It doesn't make sense. Hold on. Let me go back some. I'll let it play from this point.
Placing their lives in danger. And he's talking about rounding them up with the military and killing them sorry, I don't find the humor in that. I don't find any of this funny. Actually makes me quite livid. Here, Jim Gaffigan again says he finds this funny. He's like, let me just cut to the point and point out who is not here. Because Vice President Kamala Harris didn't show. And he goes, of course I'm talking about the middle class. Here, play this clip.
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't address the elephant in the room. You know, you're all thinking about it. Let me just cut to the point and point out who's not here. And of course, I'm talking about the middle class. That filthy group of people. Right?
And New York Attorney General Letitia James was there, and Jim Gaffigan talked about that. Play the clip.
This room is undeniably impressive. It really is. The prestige, the wealth, the allegations. I mean, wow. And don't feel bad if you don't have any allegations yet, okay? Which reminds me, Letitia James is here. She had a great year. She's just back there watching all of you. She is watching.
On the other hand, let me show you what Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign was doing, not to this white tie garbage. Her campaign had Governor Walz out in Durham, North Carolina, talking about this. Play the clip.
I'm gonna be generous. We are all products of our past. When you grow up a middle class kid in Oakland or in Butte, Nebraska, you care about Social Security. You care about these things. When you're sitting down in Mar-a-Lago and you tell your rich friends, you're rich as hell, I'm gonna give you a tax cut, it doesn't matter to them. And you know what? When my mom looks for that Social Security deposit to be made in her bank account, that's how she's going to feed herself. That's how she's going to get things done. He doesn't give a damn if his Social Security check comes or not. So let's be very clear. If any of our relatives or anyone gives us this, if they tell us, well, Donald Trump's understand us, that's bullshit. He does not understand. He does not understand.
The point of this segment from this video was to let you guys listen to it, because if you middle class, poor, whatever, Donald Trump doesn't care about you. He doesn't even care about the rich. He just wants their money. And he wants whatever they're going to give him to benefit him. Donald Trump doesn't care about anybody but himself. And what they're saying about the middle class is so shameful. So shameful. That's what they think of you, middle class. So when you vote, you need to think about that. What is the benefit of me voting for Donald Trump if this is how they think of me? Think about that. So this next video I'm about to show y'all, it is about Kamala. She is ahead of Trump. He's losing it. He's losing all his marbles. Like I said, his mental health is declining. He's 78, about to hit 79. Him and Bill Clinton about the same age. His birthday is like really soon. So what, he'll be 79 years old? He's going to be 79 years old going to prison. That's what's going to be up. But anyway, I'm going to show y'all the video. One moment, please. Just a moment. The video is loading and we're going to watch it.
This is by far the best low-carb turkey baking clip I've ever had, and it's made with one of my favorite alternative breads, Hero.
I'm going to take a sip of water. Wait, one moment, y'all need to drink some water.
At all costs. This is the kind of stuff you see in Russia and other authoritarian countries. Meanwhile, Donald Trump and Fox were doing the exact thing that he was accusing Vice President Kamala Harris of. During Donald Trump's event, which, by the way, got lower ratings than Kamala Harris. Did I mention that yet? Let me mention it again.
Hit the like button. Thank you all.
Kamala Harris, they did this all-women town hall, and it ended up being packed with Donald Trump's own supporters and people who are high up in the Republican Party, in Republican Party groups. In Georgia, I mean, they got busted.
This what he's talking about, you guys. That is the same night, Tuesday night, that I received my Lifetime Achievement Award from President Joe Biden. I received a Lifetime Achievement Award with a gold medal, and I got a letter from Joe Biden. So I was in Alpharetta the same night Donald Trump was in Alpharetta. I was at the Avalon. He was just a couple exits up from there, about 2 exits up from where I was. So Donald Trump was in the same city I was in, y'all. Let me get back to this video because he was in the same city I was in. But anyway, VP Kamala Harris will be here this weekend. And I'm going to see her. Yes, 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 yes.
They accuse Vice President Harris of when she has actual legitimate events, and everything that Donald Trump participates in is utterly staged. Donald Trump still ranting and raving like a crazy person, because he is a crazy person, on his social media app, writing, "Why does Suzanne Scott of Fox News keep putting on third-rate talking heads like Jessica Tarlov, Richard Fowler, Patrick Murphy, Something Wolf, Keisha Lance Bottoms, and other radical left lunatics, blah, blah, blah." The reason I want to read this one is, first off, Fox does all this propaganda for him, and he still yells at them. But more importantly, I want you to see that he is calling people here radical left lunatics. Radical left lunatics is the phrase that he used on Fox multiple times. You know, the one that Bret Baier refused to show, where he said he wanted to send the military after radical left lunatics.
Thank
What
you,
realize in
Terry.
Donald Trump's statements here is that
Thank
by
you for the
radical
blue
left
heart.
lunatics, he means anybody who disagrees with him. Speaking of Bret Baier and Fox and Vice President Harris's interview, you all know by now that Bret Baier played this deceptively edited clip as Vice President Harris brought up the fact that Donald Trump has been going around saying on Fox's own network and elsewhere that he wants to take on the, quote, enemy within. Bret Baier ended up playing a different clip. Last night, he actually apologized for that moment. Watch this.
Well, I did make a mistake, and I want to say that I did make a mistake.
We already saw that, y'all. I'm going to fast forward that because I do not want to listen to Brett anymore because I told you I lie, don't care who tells it.
There isn't one. Ouch. This from the New Republic. Finally, Trump's alarming mental decline has become a big media story. As new developments focus attention on Trump's derangement, a shrewd media observer dissects whether the press is finally treating his deteriorating mental state as a major news event. By the way, this was Donald Trump yesterday in the Bronx. I'm sorry to show you this.
He looked
photo.
a hot mess.
If you've eaten already, I'm sorry for food's coming up. I know that was a bit of a jump scare. Let's move on. Let's move on right now to Vice President Kamala Harris taking on MAGA hecklers at her event in Wisconsin. This was earlier in the day. Yesterday, this was a brilliant moment where these Trumpers in the crowd tried to interrupt her. Watch how she swatted them down.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
Vice President.
She's so classy.
On the trail as well around the country. Former President Bill Clinton was in North Carolina, and he was speaking about Donald Trump's declining mental acuity. Watch.
I don't have any more elections I'll be involved with, and I'm too old to kill the lily. Heck, I'm only 2 months younger than Donald Trump.
He's younger than Donald Trump. Bill Clinton is younger and more attractive.
Good news for you is I will not spend 30 minutes swaying back and forth to you. I've played enough music, I will not clap off beat. Nor will I pretend to be a conductor. Because we got a race to win.
Amen.
We have to win it. I've been doing this a long, long time, and I can honestly say that this time I am not here running for anything anymore except for my grandchildren's future.
Governor Tim Walz was speaking in North Carolina as well about being a gun owner.
We saw that already about Government Tim Walz. But I'm going to say this, y'all. As y'all just heard, Bill Clinton said that him and Donald Trump, he's 2 years younger than Donald Trump. And you see Bill Clinton is at home chilling with his wife, Hillary. He ain't trying to run for president. He's been there, done that. Donald Trump should have learned when he ran the first time how he just made a mess of the country and left it in a mess. So President Joe Biden and VP Kamala Harris are cleaning up Donald Trump's mess right now. So why do we want him back in there with his old self? He's old and corroded with a piss it depends. We don't need that, y'all. When he was at an interview, I hope I got that. I pray to God I sent that to myself. When he was at an interview with, I think it was Fox. I think that's the channel he did. He was sitting there and they had to put a mat under Donald Trump sitting on that beautiful white sofa because Donald Trump, he poops and urinates in his depends. Let me find that right quick. I prayed I emailed that to myself. Okay, let's see. Let me see what I emailed it to myself, or did I put it in my DM? Hold on, okay, just a moment. We have about 20 minutes left. Let me see if this is it. I don't know if this is the one or not. I hope this is it. I hope so. Let's see. Because I have so much I emailed to myself. Okay. Ace says in the chat, 300,000 immigrant children lost. That is true. Now, that is true. I won't argue with you on that. John B says this lady is, oh God, I'm not going to say it. You're not hurting my feelings because I know what I'm talking about. And I do my research, honey. So if you got a problem, why are you on my chat? Apparently you like coming looking at my beautiful face and my beautiful features that my mother gave me. Is that what it is? This is not it. It may just be in my Instagram thing, but let me see. Let me see if this is it. Because I titled something as Trump, but sometimes I should explain it a little bit more before I email it to myself. Michael says, remember COVID during Trump's turn, how he handled it? He handled it terribly. He kept it from us for the longest. He did. He kept it from us. Didn't want to let us know. Then he had no choice but to tell us because we start finding out. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have told us. No, he would not. Well, for the time being, I'm going to show y'all this video of a guy that used to be a MAGA.
I used to be a MAGA Republican. Let me just kind of explain why I jumped from MAGA over to Kamala Harris. So let me just kind of sit back and explain. Actually, this happened recently. So let me just kind of back up. In 2016, I voted for Donald Trump. Why? Because I was afraid. I was scared of Clinton. And it worked. And all 4 years of Trump being in the office, I felt secured. I felt validated. Then after 2020, just like everyone else that's on that ship, I believed him. I genuinely believed that, our election was stolen. I believed that there was some mass conspiracy. And I genuinely felt the guy. I was like, whoa, if he's going to get prosecuted, I could be next. And that was the narrative and the thought process that I was being fed. I also was listening to a lot of outlets and a lot of voices that validated my concerns, and that was the things that. And I don't want to say I was unwilling to listen to any other debate, but I was always afraid to have a debate with somebody, and that was what it's been ever since before the 2016 election. It was at a point where I was afraid to talk about my political beliefs because I had seen my friends get attacked, like literally physically attacked, and had their personal lives attacked. They had people around them that were attacked just for having a simple difference of opinion than somebody else. And then another thing that I was afraid of, which was being promoted quite a bit, was that there was a lot of illegal immigrants that were coming across the border, and they're hurting people, they're doing damage, they're hurting this country, XYZ. And I'm like, and I've always been pro-immigration. I've always been pro-immigration. immigration. Like, yeah, immigrants are what make this country amazing because they bring the best parts of their culture and the way they think about things and make this country better, make this country great. And that was what I was a staunch supporter of, you know. And but the biggest thing was, again, the thing that drove me the most to continue to back him was fear. It was the fear of other. It was the fear of somebody coming to hurt me. It was the fear of somebody coming to hurt my family. It was somebody, you know, that was wanting to take away my livelihood. It was also the fear of just using my voice in general to either to be afraid of talking about the things that were important to me and to be afraid of even being knowledgeable about politics or anything like that. But what changed my mind this cycle, and I think this is probably very true for a lot of other Republicans, especially former MAGA Republicans like myself, former MAGA, was Kamala Harris. I don't know how it happened or why it happened, but she brought the joy of politics again. Like she has given us the confidence to say with our chest. Like for me, I'm all about women's right to choose. Like it goes beyond abortion. It goes down to just basic specialized care that women need, whereas men don't need. You know, mental health is another big thing that we all need to talk about too. Being able to find ways to, you know, secure our border, actually having a concise plan for, you know, for your average American as far as the economy goes. You know, being able to say, hey, look, we're going to tax this group of people because they have too much money, and then it's going to boil down and help fund programs to help average everyday Americans. You know, those things right there made me say, you know what? I shouldn't be afraid anymore. I shouldn't. That's been the key ticket for Donald Trump and a lot of other Republicans who stay behind Trump, who are loyal to him. Their platform is fear, and it has been fear. Fear of fear of invaders, fear of people coming and hurting you, the fear of somebody coming and taking your rights away, the fear of, you know, pushing the fear that if you don't vote for him, that you're going to be voting for some dictatorial type of government. And the policies that he has planned, the proposals that he has planned, are an overreaction to a supposed fear. And
he's right, you guys. Everything he's saying, I agree with him. I do. Hold on one moment. Just a moment, you all. I don't know what it is. Just a moment. I'm going to show you a video of a young lady. She was homeless, and she's going to give her story about how VP Kamala Harris helped her when she was in San Francisco as a prosecutor. She helped this young lady. One moment, it has to open up. Thank you for coming to my live. I love her testimony.
Type of politician who would meet a homeless teenager and then love and mentor that kid.
Hold on, I'm gonna start it over for you all. Sorry about that, okay?
Kamala Harris is the type of politician who would meet a homeless teenager and then love and mentor that kid for the rest of their life. Hey, I'm Janine. I'm a Harvard-educated, Emmy Award-winning political strategist, but before I was any of those things, I was a homeless teenager who met Kamala Harris. And we have 3 weeks left of this election where we all have to do everything possible to make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. And one thing that I can do is share a little bit with y'all, with America, about the Kamala Harris that I know. All right, so this story in this video is going to be the story that started the story of how I met my forever beloved big sister, auntie, mentor, friend, Kamala Harris. So it was like 2000, 2001, and I'm a homeless teenager. And I had run away to San Francisco when I was 17. I didn't know anybody, and I was trying to piece together a life. I was trying to work my way through college at San Francisco State. I was homeless on and off because I was just poor and trying to survive. And but I was a nerd, and so the highlight of my homeless teenage years was that I got appointed to the San Francisco Youth Commission, which is a official government body of young people telling the mayor and the board of supervisors like what to do about children and youth issues in the city. And so at one point, I'm living in a homeless shelter for young people that is a couple blocks away from City Hall. And I keep my one bag of clothes at City Hall because like nobody at City Hall was trying to steal like a homeless teenager's clothes, whereas like at the shelter that was what happened. And so every day they would kick us out of the shelter and I would go to City Hall to get a change of clothes, and I would just like wander around bugging everybody, basically being like wanting to like debate what there's a lot of homeless policies happening at this time period. Like I was just like, I know where else to be. I was a homeless, like, and it gave me a sense of identity to be there. And so at that time period in San Francisco, one of the top issues that people were thinking about and moving on was about how vulnerable teenage girls who were being trafficked were treated. To change that, instead of seeing them as criminals, which is wild, to see them as vulnerable young people who've been failed by like basically every system.
Uh-oh. I did not mean to hit that, y'all. Sorry about that. Hold on. I am so sorry. I did not mean to hit that.
Body of young people telling the mayor and the board of supervisors like what to do about.
I keep trying to. I apologize. I am so sorry. I did not mean to hit that. Why do I keep hitting that?
Bugging everybody, basically being like wanting to like debate what there's a lot of homeless policies happening at this time period. Like I was just like, I know where else to be. I was a homeless, like, and it gave me a sense of identity to be there. And so at that time period in San Francisco, one of the top issues that people were thinking about and moving on was about how vulnerable teenage girls who were being trafficked were treated. To change that, instead of seeing them as criminals, which is wild, to see them as vulnerable young people who've been failed by like basically every system and who deserve support and protection. And like so there was all these different conversations and work around that happening. And there was a meeting held to bring together everybody who's doing anything around that. And so as a youth commissioner, I was engaged in that. So I go to this meeting and I'm kind of cynical because I'm like a homeless teenager who's just hanging out and debating things with politicians all the time. And it became readily apparent to me very early on that many people in politics view vulnerable populations as like a concept or as a statistic. They don't truly see or understand communities that don't have power. And so I'm kind of cynical. I'm in this meeting and they're like bringing everybody together to talk about it. And at some point they break us off into small groups to discuss some stuff and to build relationships and meet people. And we all take our little folding chairs and pull them together in little circles of like 5 or 6 people. And I'm in the circle and we're all going around introducing ourselves, and I introduce myself and we're going through the circle and I'm just listening to all these like adults talk about like my like peers. It's like like it was a weird space to be in as a young person, right? And so we get to this young lawyer who's in the circle, and she introduces herself as Kamala Harris. At the time, she had yet to run for district attorney. She was working in the city attorney's office, and she was actually, I didn't know that yet, leading on this issue and would continue to lead on this issue. And she introduces herself and she starts talking about these young, vulnerable kids and how nobody sees them as kids because they're vulnerable and on the streets, and what services they need and how we need to change how we think about this population and how we need to support them and protect them. And she gets it. She's brilliant. I am looking at this woman and I'm like, she's real. She's real. And I just wasn't used to that as a little cynical homeless teenager and walking around City Hall. And after that meeting, we started chatting, and that is how I first met Kamala Harris, my big sister, auntie, mentor, friend, because she's for the people and she's been for the people forever. And that was the start of a 20+ year long story of her mentoring me and guiding me through life. And I'll share more of that story soon. But in the meantime, vote early, door knock, phone bank, whatever you can do. We need to make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States.
I shared that story with y'all because that lets you know how much VP Kamala Harris is for the people. She went out of her way to help this young lady. This young lady ended up graduating from Harvard University. How powerful is that? You don't get no better than that. Harvard University? Come on. And the young ladies in her are still friends to this day. So that lets you know that VP Kamala Harris is a great person. She's relatable. That is important. Y'all may not find it important, but I find it important that a person is relatable. Hold on, I'm going to show y'all something. I hope I opened up the correct email this time. I hope so. Bear with me, okay? Thank you for coming to my live. I am Queen Lily, and all you beautiful kings and queens are valued. Thank you. Oh, this is what I wanted to show y'all. Do y'all remember earlier that I mentioned to you all a throwback of the map and how Donald Trump is always talking poorly of immigrants, migrants, even the Mexicans? Well, this is a map of what the United States used to actually look like before it was stolen. Then they kicked the Mexicans away. Hold on. This is a map of the United States. Look at it, please. So when y'all telling the Mexicans they don't belong here, vast majority of those states are theirs. And America stole it, like America stole the whole country. The Europeans, the original ones that came here, stole it from the original people that was here. Mexicans were already here. So this is just as much their land as it is our land. This land is your land. This land is my land from California. You know that song we learned in elementary school. California, Texas, Arizona. The list goes on and on. It actually belongs to the Mexicans. So when y'all telling them to go home, a lot of this is their home. They was here before the Europeans got here. A lot of this was their home. It was. So you got to make sense when you want to kick somebody out of a country. This is the original map. Look at what belongs to them. California, all of that. We got to be careful what we're saying to people because it's just as much their country. I'm going to show y'all something about the inflation is higher with Trump. Wall Street, written by Wall Street, the Wall Street Journal. The economist says that inflation deflects. The deficits will be higher under Trump than Harris. In the WSJ survey, economists see Donald Trump's plan as more inflationary by a larger margin than in July when President Biden was on the ticket. So y'all want to say, y'all, Trump gonna do this, Trump gonna do that? No, it ain't happening. He has fooled y'all. Y'all drinking the Trump wine. And also, the former Trump had 44 cabinet secretaries. 40 of them don't support his 2024 campaign. And a vast majority of them are testifying against him. If you all have read the the documents that was released by Jack Smith, a lot of them are testifying against Donald Trump from his cabinet. He had 44 cabinet secretaries. 40 of them do not support him in 2024 in his cabinet. Neither does his vice president, Mike Pence, support him. Why doesn't Mike Pence support Donald Trump? Because Donald Trump tried to have him murked. July the 6th, 2021. He wanted Mike Pence to lie and say he won the election when he did not win the 2020 election. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Yes, he did. And he knows it. But he just keep lying to Mega. He think Mega got small brains like him. That's what Donald Trump thinks. Also, Kamala Harris reportedly raised $1 billion in less than 3 months. She's been at this 3 months, and she has raised more money than who? Donald J. Trump. But y'all said Donald Trump is a great businessman. How can he be a great businessman when he filed bankruptcy 6 times and blew all his father's money? Be serious, y'all. Come on. Please stop letting that man pull your leg. He peeing on your leg and telling you it's rain. The whole time it's urine. Come on, stop it. Y'all smarter than that. God gave all of us a brain. You just decide not to use it when you're voting for Donald Trump. Just a moment. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Remember I told you I had a video of Donald Trump. He's sitting on a white sofa. Fox is interviewing him. And they put a mat up under Donald Trump. Why do you think they're putting? Nobody else has a mat up under them while they're sitting on the white sofa. Donald Trump is known to urinate on himself and to poop in his depends. And he was soiling so bad that when he get up, there would be stains on the sofa and chairs. So I'm going to let you guys watch this video.
Anything to do with school choice, but also separate from.
Look at him sitting on something. Nobody else is sitting on anything. He's sitting on a black mat because he saws his clothes. Look at your president, Donald Trump.
So let's say you have a liberal city. Let's Los Angeles.
He has to sit on something because he saws himself.
We got new history. This is America built off the backs of slaves.
I'm gonna see if I can blow it up closer so y'all can see it. They won't let me blow it up closer, but anyway, he urinates and poops on himself. He has to sit on something anywhere he go. They would not let Donald Trump sit on their sofa, but without him sitting on a pad. That is so sad. He's younger. He's 2 years younger than President Joe Biden. And Joe Biden does not have to sit on a pad, so he does not soil on anyone's furniture. That's why when he was doing his rally the other night, he would not sit in that white chair because he know he will soil on himself. So we're going to watch Tim Walz rally, and this lady was getting down. That's why I love Tim Walz and VP Kamala Harris rallies. Hold on. Look, enjoyment. Oh, I can't play that music. Hold on. I got to stop the music. I forgot about that. Look at them. They have a good time. That's my type of party. That's why this weekend when I go to a couple of her events, VP Kamala Harris is going to be at a couple of events this weekend, and I'm going to celebrate. Look at them. This is what you get at a Tim Walz and VP Kamala Harris rally, a celebration. Donald Trump don't celebrate. He mope and whine and cry and saws his pissy depends. Look at that. Having a good old time at the Tim Walz and VP Kamala Harris rally. They know how to party, celebrate. We're celebrating a new president. It should be a happy engagement. It should not be a lot of moping and complaining and hate spewing from Donald Trump's mouth. We don't need that. Look at them celebrating. God wants us to celebrate and be happy. That's what I wanted to show y'all too. And we're going to be getting out of here in a moment, okay? Hold on. Well, that's all I have to show y'all today. We covered everything that I told y'all we was going to cover. Again, you must vote. I early voted. I went in early vote. If you can early vote, it is imperative that you vote. Everybody in this chat, your vote counts. All of you. Even if you're not voting for VP Kamala Harris, if you're voting for Donald Trump, you have every right. He is your candidate. Your vote counts. Get out and vote. I encourage each and every last one of y'all in my chat. Your vote counts. Get out there and vote. Make it work for your candidate. If you care about your candidate, you're going to make sure your vote counts and get out there. If you can't vote early, then make sure you go early on November 5th because the lines will be so long, you may get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. Stay in that line because your vote counts. Thank each and every last one of you guys. Hit that like button before you leave out. And if you want to leave me a super chat, you are welcome. I have memberships. I have the Ruby membership, which is $4.99, and I have the Diamond membership, which is $9.99. I haven't been doing this long. I'm new at it. I'm going to get better each time I do this. Thank you all for staying in the chat with me. Thank you so much. I care about each and every last one of you guys. I love each and every last one of you beautiful kings and queens. Enjoy your evening. God bless and goodbye. Bye.